So it looked like Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever, general manager, Lynn Dunn, has been replaced.
That is absolutely fantastic for the Fever that you've got. That is of like a really, really, really high level.
The Fever had a problem. A disappointing season with their new star, Caitlin Clark. Their solution? Fire GM Lynn Dunn. But is this really the answer, or are they creating more problems? Let's break it down. Imagine this. The Fever were supposed to be on fire with Caitlin Clark. They had the #1 draft pick, the college superstar, the whole package. But things didn't go as planned. The team struggled, the wins weren't coming, and the frustration was building. Now, in a shocking move, they fired Lynn Dunn. That's huge news, and it's shaking up the whole team. You know what's crazier? This firing is just the beginning. The Fever are cleaning house, and it looks like they're not done yet. There's more drama coming, and you won't believe who might be next on the chopping block. But wait, there's more. This firing? It's just the beginning of a wild ride for the Fever. Let's talk about what's really going on behind the scenes. Now, you might think you know why Dunn got fired, but hold up. There's more to this story than meets the eye. Remember that 3-year plan Dunn had? Well, it turns out that plan might have been the very thing that sealed her fate. Let's break it down. Dunn came in with big dreams and a solid plan to turn the Fever around. She had this whole 3-year strategy mapped out, aiming to make the team competitive again. But here's the thing, plans don't always work out the way we expect, especially in sports. The Fever's performance under Dunn? Not great. The team struggled to find their rhythm, and the wins just weren't coming. It's like they were stuck in quicksand, and every move they made just sank them deeper. You know how frustrating that can be, right?
That Caitlin Clark has created more buzz around the basketball landscape and has actually transformed.
Who broke the rookie scoring record for a season yesterday when she dropped 35 points en route to a 110-109 victory over the Dallas Wings.
The Indiana Fever rookie broke the WNBA's rookie scoring record. Clark scored a career-high 35 points in her game.
The people at Nike told me that the thing that Caitlin has done is also similar to what Tiger did.
Imagine being a fan, watching your team struggle game after game. It's tough. But here's where it gets interesting. Dunn wasn't just sitting back and watching the team flounder. She was actively trying to protect her players, especially Caitlin Clark. Remember when Clark was getting hit with some pretty hard fouls? Dunn wasn't having it. She stood up and said, "There's a difference between tough defense and unnecessary, targeting actions. It needs to stop." That's some serious mama bear energy right there. But here's the question. Did Dunn's fierce protection of Clark backfire? Think about it. While she was focused on player safety, was she missing other issues that needed her attention? Now, let's talk about Dunn's track record. This isn't some rookie we're talking about. Dunn led the Fever to a championship back in 2012. She knows how to win. So what happened? How did someone with that kind of success end up getting fired? It's like Dunn was trying to recreate that 2012 magic, but the spell just wouldn't work. Maybe the game changed, or maybe the pieces just didn't fit together like she thought they would. Whatever the reason, the Fever's management decided it was time for a change. You know what's wild? Dunn knew this job was temporary from the start. She said, "I agreed to do this job for 2 years. My job is to bring stability to the franchise."
And I'm here to tell you, Lynn Dunn is no longer the general manager of the Indiana Fever. To drop this groundbreaking post right here. They stated we have named Amber Cox that her duties as general manager could be coming to an end. So guys, it looked like Lynn Dunn is up out of there. Now we have all speculated.
But stability? That's not what the Fever got. Instead, they got a roller coaster ride of ups and downs, with more downs than ups. So, was firing Dunn the right move? That's the million-dollar question. On one hand, you've got an experienced leader who's passionate about her players. On the other, you've got a team that's struggling to find its footing in a competitive league. Here's something to chew on. What if Dunn's firing is actually a strategic move? Think about it. Sometimes you need to shake things up to get better. It's like when you're stuck on a problem and you need to step away and come back with fresh eyes. Maybe that's what the Fever are doing, hitting the reset button to give the team a fresh start. While everyone's talking about Dunn's exit, there's another storm brewing in Indiana. Christie Sides is in the hot seat, and it's not just because of the scoreboard. The real drama? It's between Sides and Caitlin Clark, and it's playing out for everyone to see. What's really going on between the coach and the rookie sensation? Christie Sides came in with Dunn, and now that Dunn's gone, Sides is looking shaky. It's like when your friend invites you to a party, and then they leave early. Suddenly, you're not sure if you should stick around. That's Sides right now. Fans aren't happy, and they're not shy about it. After every loss, social media lights up with people questioning Sides' decisions. It's like she can't catch a break.
No, we're pulling for the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. That's it.
The facilitation that Caitlin Clark has, I think, is one of the more underrated skill sets, setting her teammates up for success, and that has boded well for the Indiana Fever.
So that's the heart of Caitlin Clark. I mean, that's a classy, amazing person.
But here's the thing. Lynn Dunn, before she got fired, was actually sticking up for Sides. She told fans to give Sides some time to grow as a coach. That's pretty noble, right? Defending someone even when your own job is on the line. But the real kicker? It's what happened during that game against the Chicago Sky. Picture this. It's crunch time, the game's on the line, and Caitlin Clark, the star player, is frustrated. She's not getting the ball. She's rolling her shoulders, gesturing, practically begging for a chance to make a play. But Sides? She's got other plans. Clark finished that game with some solid numbers, 17 points and 13 assists.
But she's even more than that in that she's 22. So she came right out of college and hit, very successful.
I know this has been a celebratory season in the WNBA dump. I know it has been a record-breaking season. Caitlin Clark is a box office draw, while the rest of the WNBA, it is nothing but a polished turd.
Fourth in the league in MVP voting, and we see all of these things. Certainly she's going to be a great player.
Not bad, right? But in those final minutes, when it really counted, Clark was barely touching the ball. Sides even had her inbounding instead of taking shots. That's like having your star quarterback hand off the ball in the final seconds of the Super Bowl. It just doesn't make sense. You can almost feel the tension between Clark and Sides. It's not just about one game, it's about how they see the game differently. Clark wants to take charge, to be the leader she knows she can be.
Fan gear sales over the first half of the season at the highest in league history.
She is the Michael Jordan. Like, I know you're not a major basketball person, but she is the Michael Jordan of female basketball.
Now, with Caitlin Clark playing, $2.12 million on May 14th. $1.71 million on.
That certainly supports the case that Caitlin Clark is the one that not only moved the needle, but possibly broke the needle off.
But Sides? Maybe she's trying to run a different kind of offense. Or maybe she's just not seeing what everyone else is seeing. This clash isn't just bad for Clark and Sides. It's bad for the whole team. When your coach and your star player aren't on the same page, it's like trying to dance to two different songs. It just doesn't work. So, what happens if Sides gets fired? It could be exactly what Clark needs. Imagine a new coach coming in, someone who really gets Clark's game, someone who knows how to use her talents, how to let her shine. It could be the difference between Clark being good and Clark being great.
Christie Sides can't be the coach. I do not see Christie Sides staying on as coach. Everyone being like, oh, but like, she did well, you gotta keep her. I'm sorry. If you can't get it done, you can be fired. Doesn't matter if your team have been good. I think more so what she's very good at is the promotion side. From what I've heard, she's really good at the promotion side. She's really good at getting the fans engaged, turn the Indiana Fever into like the most marketable women's sports team in the history of women's sports.
But here's the real question. Is firing Sides the answer? Or is it just another quick fix that won't solve the deeper problems? The Fever are in a tough spot. They've got this amazing talent in Clark, but they're struggling to build a winning team around her. Firing Sides might feel good in the moment, but is it really going to turn things around? While the front office crumbles, Caitlin Clark's frustration is boiling over. What's really going on inside her head? And could it change the Fever's future? Clark's not just watching from the sidelines. She's right in the middle of this storm, and her reactions? They're telling. Picture this. It's late in the game, the Fever are struggling, and Clark's feeling the heat. After a tough loss to the Chicago Sky, she didn't hold back. Just seemed the ball got really stuck, she said. I thought we kind of fell apart a little bit as a team. That's not just rookie talk, that's a star player calling it like she sees it. But it's not just about one game.
The WNBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season, who has had athletes like Serena Williams, like LeBron James, like Michael Jordan. This is, if you guys remember, when Caitlin Clark was playing at Iowa, Nike ran ads about her. When she broke the record for the most points in NCAA, they had other ads and things that came out, but since then, it has been crickets.
Clark's been facing some serious challenges adjusting to the WNBA. You think college basketball is tough? This is a whole new level. Clark's been getting hit with some hard fouls, and it's not just about the bruises, it's about getting inside her head.
Caitlin Clark has personally received 17% of the flagrant fouls called.
Well, I didn't think they were going to give me a technical at any point tonight. She's the one babysitting me, and then somehow she ends up with a technical, and she didn't really do anything. She was just standing there, so that's what was funny to me. I think I did a better job. I still thought there was like a couple moments there where I could have been a little bit better.
After one particularly physical game, Clark admitted, "I wasn't expecting that." But here's the thing, she's not backing down. Her strategy? Just let them hit you. Be what it is. Don't let them get inside your head. That's the kind of mental toughness that separates the good from the great. Now you might be thinking, okay, so Clark's struggling a bit. What's the big deal? Well, here's where it gets interesting. Despite all these challenges, Clark's impact on the Fever has been huge. We're talking sellout crowds, people.
The WNBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season.
In the WNBA, because the numbers are in for the month of May.
The Indiana Fever are pretty much blowing out every other team. They are averaging almost 16,000 per 39 game.
Quote, the Fever set a single season home attendance record of 340,715 fans. Okay.
In just 5 games, the Fever surpassed last year's total attendance mark. That's insane. Imagine walking into a Fever game now. The place is packed. People are hanging from the rafters, and everywhere you look, you see Clark jerseys.
35 at home, 15,000 on the road. Attendance for the entire league up nearly 50% this year, according to data, the Indiana Fever. All right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. I'm gonna repeat that. Merchandise sales are up 450%. You saw other folks trying to get at her and trying to get at her team, and you saw fans and all of this other stuff going on, which we will get into, right?
It's like the whole city's caught Clark fever. But here's the question. Is all this hype helping or hurting Clark and the team? On one hand, Clark's star power is undeniable. She's bringing attention to the Fever like never before. But on the other hand, all this pressure, all these expectations, it's a lot for anyone to handle, let alone a rookie. And let's talk about Clark's performance. She's showing flashes of brilliance, no doubt, but there's been some struggle too, especially in those crucial late-game moments. Sometimes it seems like she's not even getting the ball when it matters most. Is that on Clark, or is it on the coaching? This is where things get tricky. Clark's frustration isn't just about her own game. It's about the team's strategy, the way they're playing together, or not playing together. When she talks about the ball getting stuck, she's not just talking about the ball. She's talking about the whole team's energy. So, what does all this mean for Clark's future with the Fever? That's the million-dollar question. With all these front office changes, Clark could be looking at a whole new system, a whole new strategy. Could this be exactly what she needs to really shine? Think about it. A new GM, maybe a new coach. That could mean a fresh start for everyone, especially Clark. Maybe this shakeup is exactly what she needs to take her game to the next level. But here's the thing. Change isn't always good. What if the new management doesn't know how to use Clark's talents? What if they try to change her game too much? It's a gamble, and Clark's future could be riding on it. All right, let's wrap this up. The Fever's front office is in chaos. Dunn's gone, Sides is hanging by a thread, and Clark? She's caught in the middle of this mess. It's like a basketball tornado hit Indiana, and nobody knows where the pieces will land. Here's the thing. The Fever are taking a huge risk. They're betting everything on these changes. But will it pay off, or are they about to crash and burn? It's like they're playing basketball roulette, and the ball's still spinning. What do you think? Is firing everyone the answer? Or should they have given Dunn more time? Maybe you think Clark needs a new coach to really shine. Or maybe you're worried all this change will just make things worse. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm dying to hear what you think the Fever should do next.